Welcome back to C2E2, the last day. How's everyone doing? All right, well, we are here at the C2E2 live stage. My name is Caitlin Bush. I'm the Associate Features Editor at SYFY Wire, which is your location for all things genre. News, videos, podcasts, interviews. We love all of the same geeky things as much as you do. I am joined today by a man that you might know as Nathan Drake, as Desmond Miles, as the Penguin in Batman Arkham.
That's right. That's right.
I am joined today by the great Nolan North.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
So I know that I'm gonna go right into, you've said in the past that people didn't necessarily understand the video game medium. This was a while ago. Do you think that people more and more are starting to understand the art that goes into it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, technology in general just expands by leaps and bounds. And I think, you know, it's always funny when people say, oh, yeah, you're just like a pioneer, which just means I'm old. But, you know, I just was at the right place at the right time. You know, getting my foot in the door of the world of voiceover, the place to do it was in video games because a lot of people didn't want to do it. Certainly didn't want to do motion capture. But, you know, now it's something that's kind of a coveted place. And I think the fact that we're here with SYFY Wire talking about video games is a huge leap. You know, it used to be just, you know, I think IGN was one of the early ones, and otherwise nobody really cared. Except, of course, the fans, and now we have, you know, numerous outlets where we can get our information.
And with your level of success and everything that you have done, you have, being one of the first people who kind of vouched for this space very vocally, you have a lot of freedom to maybe make characters your own and to really dive into them. What does it mean for Nolan North to make a character his own?
Oh, you know, it's not just me. I think any good director, any good project is going to let the actors do what they do. You know, that's when you know you're working with good people, good directors. Like with Uncharted, for instance, Amy Hennig, who created the franchise, invited me to put my own sense of humor on the role, to make it as much my own. Anybody who meets me goes, hey, but that's Drake's voice. I'm like, well, it was mine first. And please don't be the people who come up to the table and talk to me for a few minutes and go, would you mind doing the Drake voice for me? This is it.
Well, I've been doing it.
Except there's not bullets and gunfire, and you're like, Sully, get down. There's none of that. Oh, crap. So, yeah, I think when you know, just having that freedom, that's what a good director does. Sometimes they'll hear what they want in their head, and you may give them something that they hadn't thought about that might be better. But, you know, one of my favorite things to do in anything is to find that character. The Penguin, for example, Rocksteady presented me with all the artwork, and, you know, he just looked uncomfortable with the bottle, looked uncomfortable with the bottle jammed in his eye. Can be, you know.
What? That's weird.
It's a little chafing, but, you know, just, you know, he just, you know,
And they, you know, just looked like he was all ganked up and you have to get down in here.
And I had just seen Snatch, and, you know, the guy who's Bricktop, you know, it just, that attitude.
The Penguin talking like this and look.
And I have to do the face, by the way. I don't do that on purpose.
It
So
just
you're
doesn't
just-
seem
you're-
right if you try to say it doesn't sound right. It sounds like Beetlejuice. Hey, baby, what's happening? Yeah. You know, but when you talk like this and you kind of get your throat, oh, it goes in.
It just works better. But Bricktop was an inspiration for mine. It's like, you take cream and sugar? No, thanks. I'm sweet enough. That was like that attitude where he was just the bad guy who was charming. It's going down in the fourth. You know, see, he knows the lines. Don't worry about it. I'm doing this for him. You find inspiration to create a character from different places. And when a good director, good producers give you that freedom, you know you're in a good project.
And you know, kind of doing that face, and you've also obviously done motion capture for it. Does that, you feel it helps you get more into the character, that physicality, versus just voicing?
Yeah, I think with motion capture, you have to, motion capture is just like doing on-camera work. Except you don't have the costumes to. If you're playing a king, you don't have that. That you don't have the crown. You don't have the armor. If you're a knight, whatever. So you create that in your imagination, but the physicality of how characters move is important. I don't try to overthink it. I'd love to expound on the whole subject, but I'd be just full of crap at that point. It's like any kid goes out and plays make-believe. Just at the end of my day, they give me a check. And that's nice.
And I know that right now you are co-hosting along with Troy Baker Retro Gameplay.
Retro Replay, yeah.
Replay.
That's okay. Yeah, Retro Replay. Thank you. Yeah.
Speaking.
By the way, so we are, I think, about 1,500 people, subscribers, and you can subscribe for free. If you're not a subscriber of Retro Replay, subscribe for free. We're 1,500 away from 100,000, and in less than 10 months, I guess. And we're having so much fun. We never thought it would blow up the way it is. And on April 4th, we might break the internet with some stuff that we're going to be announcing. April 4th, 2 weeks, week and a half, whatever it is. It's really exciting. We're having so much fun because it's something that, along with our producing partners, PJ Harzma, who I did Con Man with and Drew Lewis, the four of us just got together and we created this show where somebody said, "Is it a playthrough?" And Troy said it best. He said, "If it's a playthrough, it's the worst one on the internet, because it's think Wayne and Garth on their couch playing video games poorly, just us and our friendship, and just stories pop up just like you're having any conversation with your own friends, and we just invite everybody to sit down and kind of get to know us." Not like we're like in an interview setting, just like this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and all our foibles and our flaws are out there. And hand it to our editors, who Drew Lewis is in charge of the editing, and he's brilliant. He's our Drew. He's the guy that you never get to see. He's the off-camera guy, but he's the guy with the facts. And he and PJ Harzma, they put together the editing in it, I think is fantastic. I mean, it's if we're talking about a movie, like if we were doing Retro Replay and I just mentioned that scene for Snatch, that scene would pop up. So it's a lot more than just two guys talking, because that's not that interesting. It's like, watch that for 3 minutes, be like, yep, next. But, and it's great to own something, something that we've worked for other people for so long, and it's just nice to, hey, this is ours, this is our own thing. And there's some big things in the works. Right now, you'd be subscribing to that show, but it's going to expand to where you're now subscribing to a true channel, and we can't wait. We're really excited. So Retro Replay, it's free. You can be a premier subscriber for $700,000 a year, and I only need 2 subscribers, and then I'm out. And I promise you'll never hear from me again.
Now, well,
wait, 4. Troy will want some of that. All right, 4.
You'll get there. While you and Troy have been playing, has anything particularly interesting come out while you're just sitting there chatting?
Oh, I can't. No, I'm not saying anything. If I say anything, I'm ruining the surprise. Has anything interesting happened? Oh.
Anything that surprised you, really, that you didn't know about him?
Every single time. Every single episode, we sit down, nothing scripted, and we just go. And we start playing a game, and it's amazing how that one, it could be, I don't know, Dragon's Lair we played. And it was just so interesting, because that was a Don Bluth, the animator, famous animator from Disney, did this game, and it's on this pad that's the size of a table. And I've never played it before, and we're trying to figure it out, but it's so pretty, you want to watch it, but then you're dead. Damn it. And you go, so Troy and I always seem to learn something about each other that we didn't know every episode. And I don't know, it's just been a lot of fun. So yes, you will not only learn something new every episode, we learn something new, and hopefully that shows.
And you said that you are sitting there playing video games badly.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. Terrible. I'm old enough to just be like Atari, button, joystick. That's as far as my dexterity will extend. My son will have me like play Destiny with him, you know? Eyes up, Guardian. I live in your backpack. And I'll be doing it, and I'll be like, okay, he goes, press X, press X. I'm like, X, I got it, you're dead. What? Which, and it's because there's like, you have to have a degree in engineering to do that. I don't know how you do it. And I look down for a second, then he grabs it, you'll know this, said, Dad, you need your own character, you're ruining my ratios. So I'm like, when did this become so competitive? Yeah, Guardian Down is like my handle. That should be my handle. That's my gamer tag, Guardian Down. It's like Guardian Down, going to the other room for bourbon. It's like, yeah, you keep playing your games. I'm gonna get drunk.
Do you enjoy, or would you count yourself good at any of the games that you've posed for?
Nope.
No?
Oh, no. We have one little part of our show called Cheat Codes Engaged. Now, cheat codes are fun. I like that. I will swindle a nun for $5 if I have to. I probably shouldn't have said that. No. Yeah. So that I don't have time. I don't have time to beat a game on my own. I just go to those cheat codes. Those old games, they're great. They're so hard, though. The funny thing I've found that the evolution of games, going back to the first question, is they've gotten so much more complicated and interesting, but they're not as hard. Man, you'd get to the end of a thing and you're dead, and it's like, man, I just almost there. Okay, why am I in the beginning again? And they make you go back to the beginning. I guess they didn't have the. It's like, come on, put in a break. I got all the way to the end. I mean, Frogger. I got to play Frogger again. I get that. Okay, frog, car, doesn't mix. Go.
Now, as we speak about all of the different games that you're playing now, that you've been in, is there any video game franchise that we could maybe put out into the ether that you haven't been a part of that you would like to be?
Well, I always like to be careful about this because I don't ever covet other people's work. People say, what character would you want to play? I'm as big a fan of other actors as you are. So, but I've always been partial to Westerns, and I love what Roger Clark did in Red Dead, and Troy and I have talked about it. I said, oh man, put us on horses, with Roger Clark and Red Dead 3 or 4, I don't care, someday. I think Red Dead's a great game. Partially because I can just ride my horse. I don't have to shoot anybody, I don't have to do anything. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. This is, at those odd times when it rains in Los Angeles, you're like, well, I can't go out. I'm gonna go mosey over here. Like, oh, what are you doing? I'm robbing a bank, apparently. This is fun. Yeah, I think Red Dead's beautiful. I think what Rockstar does with that game is just phenomenal, and I'm a fan. And I've never done anything with them, so I'd be open to it. I mean, because I think I think what they do is they just do really quality work. Like Naughty Dog does quality work, Rocksteady, all these games, Bungie. I really appreciate the hard work that goes in on everything other than the voiceover side. I mean, the engineers, the programmers, the designers, artists. I'm as big a fan as anybody of all that stuff, so yeah.
And the whiskey and bourbon would come in handy for the Red Dead too, as well.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah. And I'm allergic to horses, so
that
digital horse would probably be the best thing for me. Otherwise, I'd be the guy with the mask and gloves, like, oh, how do you slow the horse down?
But we just had
King
some
Candy.
of
Oh, look, this horse. It took off. See, that's how my life is.
we just had the Overwatch ladies up here
Oh, yeah.
before you. Do you pay much attention to Overwatch, or would you like to be involved with Overwatch?
I've met most of them. I know that met all the women who were here that have done it, and Fred Tatasciore is a very dear friend of mine. With Johnny Cruz does it, and he's a friend of mine. So I've never played Overwatch, but my kids do, and yeah, I'm open to anything. I just like to work. I like to have fun. I just don't want to have to do a real job ever again. And I know it's like right behind me. There's like a guy with sign-in sheet somewhere, sign in and like, you have your resume? I'm like, I haven't had a resume in 25 years. I don't know what to tell you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't know, taking your job? What's your greatest weakness? I don't like people. See, I'm really bad in interviews.
I'm curious myself, and some people backstage I was talking with were wondering what you think of Nathan Fillion's Uncharted film. Have you?
Oh, it's good. Nathan's a friend of mine. As he put it out there, he said it was an itch he wanted to scratch. So it's his own personal homage. I did tell him he got the kitty got wet wrong. You say that after. You don't go kitty got wet and hit. You got to hit kitty got wet because the guy's down. It doesn't. He just. I could have fixed that. I wasn't a consultant though. He didn't ask me to consult. No, it was fun. It was a fun little thing. It was a good time.
And then on top of all of the video game work, you've also obviously done so much TV, so many movies, etc. How often do you get asked the "Do you prefer Marvel or DC" question?
The Marvel or DC?
Yeah. Do you prefer working for one or the other? How often do you get asked that?
Pass. They've both hired me, so I'm like, whatever. I think there's an epidemic in this country about superlatives. Everybody wants a list, like who's the best this, and where did you put this? I mean, people are like, well, Babe Ruth wouldn't survive in today's landscape. Yeah, maybe not, who cares? Who cares? I just don't, when you're really good at something, when you've gotten to a certain point, like DC and Marvel have, I just like movies. I don't go to movies waiting to critique them. I'm not Rotten Tomatoes. I just want popcorn and I want to sit in the dark for a couple hours and be entertained. I don't want to go to a movie and it ends in a cryptic way and everybody's crying. This wasn't fun. If I go to theater, I don't want to sit there and be moved by this piece. I want to see someone sing and dance. Woo! I want to go whoo at some point in a show. I'm a consumer, and I'm just tired of everybody like, oh, they're the best. No, Marvel's best. No, DC's best. It's like, can you just not appreciate them both? I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, hell, Disney's going to own everything anyway, so you might as well.
Get on board, everybody. It's my world. You're just little squirrels trying to get a nut. Oh, boy.
Sorry, I had to do it. Trademark Disney. I don't own that. Hold on. My lawyer's calling. I'm being sued right now. No, because I can't. I do Superman and Superboy for DC. Then I'll get to go do Rocket Raccoon for stuff. The nice thing about a lot of the voiceover stuff is like I've had auditions for Wolverine. And I'll just look and I'll go, well, I'm just going to do a Steve Bloom impression. Why am I going to? And I pass. I just won't do it. Hulk. That's Fred Tatasciore. I don't want to do Hulk because I can't do it better than my friend. And a lot of times we'll call. They don't know that we know each other. I'm like, I just got to read for Wolverine. Steve's like, yeah, I haven't heard about that. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. You just, that's certain guys do. It's their thing, So, but like Troy, my buddy Troy, he did the Joker, and he called Mark Hamill. He talked to Mark about it, and Mark was like, no, go do your own thing. We don't own, Troy said it one time in an interview, it was about, none of us actors own a character. We just inhabit it for a while, and we put our own spin on it. No, I don't know. I don't know which ones I would ever. I don't know. I don't covet any. I really don't think about it. If somebody brings me something that hasn't been done that I could do something interesting with, yeah, I'll put my spin on it and see see how people like it. But no, can't think of any. Can you? Can anybody? I don't know.
I don't know. You guys got any ideas?
None. See? I'm out of work. Next.
I turn and everyone goes.
Next question. No, I don't know. I've done most of them.
Well, I do want to actually get to a segment that we like to call Roll for Question, which is pretty simple.
Oh, this is cool.
We have a rather large D20 here, and you will roll the D20, and then whatever number is there, I will ask you that question.
All right, ready? 1.
Crit
That
fail.
just happened.
So 1.
1 didn't really roll. Go with 1.
Which character that you have played do you think is most likely to bug friends to help them move?
Which character is most likely to help?
Is most likely to...
Deadpool would, yes. It's like, hey, moving Saturday, need you, buddy, or I'll shoot you. Right in the face.
Yeah, no, Deadpool. Deadpool would ask anybody any question. He has no boundaries. Just like friends who ask you to move. Hey, your brother has a truck, right? No, sold it. That's the answer every time. Ready?
Yeah.
12.
12. What do you remember about the first con you ever attended?
Ooh. I showed up at a table. I didn't know anything about it. Somebody invited me. It wasn't like organized. They just said, come on down, which is terrible, terrible idea. I went, I didn't have pictures, and I think Uncharted 2 had just come out, or no, it hadn't come out yet. And I got some pictures of a couple characters, and I had this box, and I showed up, and there was just this little table, and my name was spelled wrong. And I put it down, and I started walking around, and it was like Mickey Rourke and the Wrestler, just the Sharpies, you know, guys literally contemplating their life. It's like he did an episode from, you know, some show. I'm like, I don't know who is that? And went to the back room to this bad little room where they put people, and there was a guy from a sitcom era, like he had done like 2 episodes of Three's Company back in 1978, screaming, going, how can there not be more chicken wings? There was only one bathroom. And I literally went to the bathroom, walked back out, grabbed the pictures, threw them in the garbage, and went to my car and drove home. I was like, that was my first con. It was not good. It was just, I was like, and I don't think I didn't do another one until, and I inadvertently apparently raised my value because people are like, oh, it's hard to get. I'm like, no, I was terrified. It's gonna be like that. Chicken wing guy was gonna be there screaming at people. The poor guy was looking at me going, there's no more. How can there not be more? And there was like 8 people and nobody else cared but this one guy. And all I kept thinking about was like, who ate the chicken wings? It wasn't me. 9.
9. Which radioactive animal would you want to be bitten by to gain their attributes?
What? Ooh, you know what? A possum. I have not been sleeping well. A radioactive possum man. Possum. That's a new comic book.
What would your colors be? What would your costume look like?
It'd be tire tracks. Tire tracks and just like Possum man. Oh, we rolled that one twice. 2.
2. If you were fighting crime, would you banter with the criminals, or are you more the silent punching type?
I banter after I punch them.
Just as you, that's the way to do it.
Less chance for people to hit you. Yeah, you got to banter after you punch. Again, the Fillion thing. Kitty got wet. You know, Kitty got wet and do it. Because you go, Kitty got, ow, ow. Never say the punch line till after the punch. It's rule number 1. Oh, I keep rolling the same numbers. All right. 14.
14. If the power of flight existed, how much of a problem do you think bug swallowing would be?
I'd eat every bug you could imagine. I have no problem with it. Anything to avoid Los Angeles traffic. No doubt. I'd fly over everybody. Guys in cars going, what did that bird eat? It's Possum Man. I rolled that. I keep rolling the same number.
That's okay.
That's I just wrote 3 numbers.
We are actually out of time.
No, 20. Last question.
20. Last question.
I was a little late.
This is actually good. Let's say it's Final Jeopardy and the scores are all tied.
Yes.
What are you hoping the category is? Off the top of your head.
Guys who played Nathan Drake.
Beautiful. And with that, thank you everyone for joining us today at the C2E2 live stage. Thank you for joining us, Nolan.
Thanks, everybody. That's how microphones work. You'd think I'd know by now.
And
Thank you.
You can follow along here and at home using the hashtag C2E2, hashtag It's a Fan Thing on Twitter. And thank you again, Nolan, for joining us. And stick around because up next, we have Nick Spencer on Amazing Spider-Man's Hunted.